The Arizona legislature requires the ESA program to work with the state auditor general to create risk-based auditing procedures to ensure that students and parents are complying with rules on how ESA funds are to be used. But those audits reportedly aren't happening. And those reports come from Caitlin Sievers from the news website, The Arizona Mirror. Good to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
All right, so the ESA, you're supposed to be working with the auditor general. It's not happening? Why?
So, to be clear, they are doing the audits. They just didn't work with the Auditor General to create the processes to do the audits.
Right.
Which is kind of like they're following part of the law, but choosing to ignore another part of it.
So these risk-based procedures, what are we talking about here?
It's basically looking at some of the parental purchases made through the program based on maybe if they had past misspending or in an area that's not to do with tuition for a school, maybe purchases from a website or something like that. So looking at some of those purchases that would be more likely to be fraudulent or misspending.
More likely to be fraudulent because where the items were purchased from or what the items actually were, or have you not got to that level with this?
They have not provided me or the Auditor General up to July 21st when they had a meeting about it with their criteria that they were using.
Okay, so the Education Department is not comply. Are they even trying to comply with the Auditor General?
They are now. After a meeting of the Joint Legislative Audit Committee on July 21st, the Auditor General came to the committee and said, hey, I've been trying to get them to comply with this and they just keep blowing me off. So what do I do? And the committee, which is made up of mostly people who are fans of the ESA program, said, hey, you need to meet with the Auditor General. This is the law. And so they have been talking about the processes now.
Oh, goodness gracious! I mean, according to your reports, they just basically say it's not a priority compared to other things that they're dealing with.
Yeah, I actually followed up with the department today, and the spokesperson said, "We're doing the audits. It's a standard process for government entities and businesses, and we're talking with the Auditor General now." But it's been almost a year since this law was put into place, and it says that the Department of Education and the Auditor General's office shall work together to make risk-based audit procedures, and that shall means it's not an option.
Right, right. And again, it's not just bureaucratic mumbo jumbo here. This is to make sure that people are doing right by this ESA program, correct?
Right. It's to make sure that people aren't making purchases such as was found out by 12 News through an investigation of lingerie and appliances and diamond rings.
Yeah, yeah. I think Craig Harris was all over that one. So basically, DOE, Department of Education, saying that their priority more than this is to make sure that students that want to get into the program are into the program, correct?
Yep. Their director just said, that's our priority, and we're just going to push off this meeting until we have time to...
And because what, the staff is too small to do anything else?
Yep. And it is true that their staff is probably too small for the work that they have to do. But that doesn't mean that they get to just decide what part of the law to follow.
Right, right. Now, the department, as you mentioned, did their own kind of auditing procedure here with this $2,000 limit. Explain what that's all about.
So back last fall, they had a huge backlog. I think it was tens of thousands of purchases that were still waiting to be approved and paid for. And so they implemented this process where they just pay for any purchase that's below $2,000. And then they said that they were going to audit those afterward on the risk-based procedures.
Well, if they're not doing it now, what are they going to? Can you trust that they're going to do them later?
I mean, that's a good question.
Okay, all right. So that's something we have to fix. There was a 2020 audit that you wrote about as well. That apparently the department did not follow up as far as documents were concerned. What's that all about?
Are you talking about the safety procedures?
I believe so, but I'm not. It's basically. It's another audit. I believe that's what it was. But they didn't. Not only did not follow up, but didn't do recommendations that were.
Oh yeah, that's right. Generally, the Auditor General was very frustrated
Yes.
with the Department of Education for just kind of pushing them off when they were trying to get documents for really anything that they were looking into.
And I think the department, as you wrote, they say that they were too busy. They wanted to wait until a handbook of some kind was released before getting those documents out there.
So they were waiting to meet with the Auditor General to come up with the risk-based auditing procedures until after the ESA parent handbook came out.
Yeah.
And the handbook, the parents were angry about possible limits being put into place, and so it was supposed to be approved in March or April, and it didn't get approved until June.
Whoa.
So that pushed things back.
Okay, so it appears as though, and you correct me if I'm wrong, but it appears as though from the reporting here that the Department of Education is not necessarily taking audits, auditor generals, all that seriously. Can we assume? Can we make that assumption here, or are they taking them seriously, but they're just saying, we just don't have the resources nor the time?
I think it might be a little bit of both.
Yeah.
I think the Auditor General certainly believes that they're not taking some of it seriously.
What kind of recourse does the Auditor General have?
I mean, I think what she did at that July 21st meeting is probably a good step.
Yeah.
And I mean, they're working on it now, but they didn't give me a timeline for when they're going to be done with that.
And the ESA program just grows and grows, doesn't it?
Yep. It's, I think, expected to have 90,000 students enrolled and cost $1 billion this year.
Caitlin Sievers, Arizona Mirror, good work on this, the ESA program and the Auditor General and the Department of Education and the whole kit and caboodle. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.